Okay, so I think it's like
Welcome, everyone. My name is Gabor Horvat, and with two of my colleagues, we are here in the Facebook live stream to show you our university, the University of Pécs Medical School. I'm working as a teacher and a clinician here at the university, and let me introduce my colleagues who will participate in this discussion to show you our university, to show you the opportunities at our university. So please introduce yourself, Ibi.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmad, or for short EB as my friends call me. I am an ex-student from the University of Pécs. I finished in 2019, and these days I am a PhD student and a clinical researcher, and I also sort of teach. Yeah, so more or less.
Thank you very much. And please, Ahmad, introduce yourself as the second-year medical student at our university.
hello everyone, my name is Ahmad Al-Dibsi. As Dr. Gabor mentioned, I am a second-year medical student. I was admitted to the school in 2019. I'm originally Syrian, and yeah, I'm here to show you what's the University of Pécs in the eyes of students.
Thank you very much. First of all, before we would start a communication discussion and before we would be able to answer to your questions, I would like to make a very short presentation about our university, just to give an overview, where are we and what we can offer for you. So let me share a short presentation about our university. Our university is the University of Pécs Medical School. As you could see in this map, we are located in Central Europe. Hungary is located around the Carpathians, and Pécs is in the southern part of our country, just 220 kilometers from the capital. Our city is a very old city. It's a World Heritage site, and what we are very proud of, this is a university town. We have almost 20,000 students in our city, so this can show you that one of our faculty, the medical school, is very important for us. Here you could see that we have 10 faculties, and the one what we will introduce now for you, this is the medical school. All the faculties are located all around each other, very close to the city center. In the medical faculty, we have a past. We have a very proud past, because our general medical program started more than 35 years ago in English language. And since then, there are many other opportunities we opened for foreign students in English and German programs as well. We can offer you 6-year-long general medical training, 5-year-long dentistry training, and five-year-long pharmacy training as the undergraduate courses. But also we can offer you a 2-year-long biotechnology MSc, which will give an MSc degree. And we have many, many different type of PhD programs, from theoretical medical sciences till clinical medical sciences as well. So we can offer you a lot of options. This is what we will introduce to you in the upcoming 1 hour. We have, as you could see, almost double amount of international students than Hungarian students. So the international environment is guaranteed in our city, it's guaranteed in our faculty. But now let's see the questions and answers. And if you have anything, you can just write to the chat box. We will answer to you in a written way. And also for some questions, we can answer in an oral way. But let's talk this, and for further information, you can see this link. You can just copy it, and you can find further information about the application and the processes. How can you get into our medical school? But now let's start a conversation with Ahmad and Ibi. So let me ask you, Ahmad, first. How did you find our university? Why did you apply to Pécs?
First of all, I was looking for medical schools all around the world, not specifically Europe. But I had to eliminate some other choices, and I ended up in Europe. I looked for some university representatives, and I started looking up at each university they represent, and I started looking at the location. Then I started looking at accreditation. I started looking at the environment. I started looking at the student life. Honestly, for me, I saw Pitch as a really comfortable place to come to, as it's a student city. You can guarantee seeing a student next to you in the road and just have some mutual friends. The quality of teaching is, I mean, it's challenging, but it's always for the best. Uh, when I approached the university representatives, they highly recommended Page as a really good upcoming modern university, especially with a new faculty now, and it was really eye catching for me because it really is modern. If students see it.
Thank you, Ahmad. Yeah, as you mentioned, our degree, what you can get at the University of Pécs, is worldwide accepted. All the European Union countries and even many other countries accept it. So if you would like to proceed your studies after the graduation to the US or Canada or any other countries, you are eligible to make those exams and then get into the residency system in those countries as well. Thank you. And what about you, Ibi? Why did you apply to Pécs? What was your first experiences here?
So my own page process was not as organized as Ahmed, where he really searched. I was basically thrown here. And what do I mean? There was a scholarship agency from home that I qualified for. And amongst the list of schools, they listed me under University of Pécs because they said it came highly recommended. At this moment, I did not even know that the pronunciation was Pécs. So when I saw my name, I was like, Pécs? What is this place? And so then I Googled to see, and I just saw like, I think the first picture I saw was the big cathedral we have. And then next was the TV tower where you can see everything. I was like, okay. Then I read a bit and I discovered that it's actually a student city. And I feel like this is really important because like, I feel like if you're going abroad to study, you want to be in the midst of other people that are studying like you, because it's easier to adapt. And so it was like, I mean, I didn't have a choice to come to Pécs, but I'm very glad that the winds of fate pushed me to Pécs, more or less. And yeah, and it has, and also I saw like, I'm a bit a big fan of this old type of architecture. And this calm, architecture and calm environment, because I come from a really big city back home that's very busy, Port Harcourt in Nigeria. So for me, this was like a sharp contrast, and I liked it, yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much. So you had the first impressions that Pécs is the place where you will come. But what was the first steps? How could you get inside? I know that you had that time personal interviews. Nowadays, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, it's impossible to organize these. So those students who are applying to us will have an online process, an online interviewing, but it's the same way. You will communicate with the professor one by one, and they will be interested about your motivation, about your English knowledge. So what was this interview for you, Ibi, when you started the medical school right before?
Yeah, so like I remember I was just finishing my A levels, Cambridge A levels, and we had to go to a hotel then to take the exam. I think the written exam was on Saturday and the oral part was on Sunday. And of course, I mean, you're stressed because, at least from your own side, because you're thinking, oh my God, this is my future. I want to be a doctor. I have to take a medical exam. Oof, what will they ask? So the night before, right, I'm going through all the A-level material on chemistry, biology, etc., etc. But then in the exam, I mean, of course, the written part was a standard written test, but the oral part, and at this moment, I had not had an oral exam before. So I was like, okay, what do you do? I mean, obviously, I was thinking maybe smile and charm the examiner, but it wasn't necessary in the end because they're very calm. And like Gabo mentioned, they really want to know about you and about your motivation. So it's not like axe grinding task. It's more like, hey, why do you want to come with us? And why do you think we're a good fit for you? And will you be able to cope with our system? Do you like our system? So this was more or less the standard of the interview, plus a little bit scientific questions, but these were not the central theme of the interview. It was more of a communication between a professor and a student. So yeah, I wouldn't say it was a scary experience in the end. Of course, again, because it's a medical school, so your heart is still beating until you get the official letter. But I was pretty sure that I would get in at the end of the interview, I think. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Ahmad, what did you experience at the interview, or what could be your tip for the upcoming students who will apply to Pécs?
Actually, for me, it was a different situation. I was fasting, and I had a really, really, really dry throat. I was really tired, but I knew what I studied for the written part. I went. I had it in a school actually. We had. I'm not sure what was the time. I can't remember it. But the exam was pretty. Let's say it was basic medical knowledge that a medical student must know to be admitted to understand what's going on. It wasn't a really tough exam, but thankfully I think I passed because I'm accepted. Uh, After an hour or so, I had my interview. I was all suited and I was like really nervous. I had this file with me where I had all my certificates in case I was asked about my extracurriculars. And honestly, the interviewer was really interested in me. I was I was saying so many things about me, and she was listening, and she was really interested in what I did in my high school, and she even asked me questions about it. And at the end, we had a small scientific argument, and she asked me some questions about physiology, basic physiology. And after that, a week later, I got my acceptance, and I was never as happy, honestly. But yeah, it was a pretty smooth. It was a pretty smooth day, and I had to break my fast happy because I was done with it.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm just showing to our viewers that if they apply to our university, then the entrance examination has two parts. One is a written part, which happens on an online platform. They have 100 minutes for it, and there are overall 100 questions they have to answer. And there is the oral part, what we mostly talked about in the previous minutes, which is a 30 minutes long personal interview. And the professors are really interested about you, about your motivation. And of course, there are some questions as well. But the atmosphere, as Ibi and Ahmad mentioned, is not a stressful exam situation atmosphere, but we are really interested about you. Why do you want to become a medical doctor? What is your family background? What is your motivation? So we encourage all of you that if you're interested, let's make a try and participate in the entrance examination, because I think we will talk about it soon, that none of us regret the decision that we started our university at the University of Pécs Medical School, and we are all satisfied with the training, and we are all happy with our life. If you are not successful with the 8 chance of exam, you have 2 more chances. So don't be stressed, because if you are not successful in the first time, you have a chance to retake the exam. So this is our take-home message regarding the examinations. And after this, let me ask Ibi. It was a few years back now, but after you get to Pécs, the first days or first week, what was your impression about the Hungarian people all around you, about the city? What was new? What was refreshing, or a fruitful environment for you? Or what did you remember about that period?
Oh, yes, I still remember my first week quite clearly. I had some little delay back home because of some technical difficulties. So I came in the beginning of October. So this is when the autumn season is kicking in, right? And I'm from a very warm climate. So I remember the first thing I noticed when I came down from the airport shuttle was that the jacket I wore was like a nice fancy jacket. I thought, yeah, it should be warm enough. It was a joke. So I ran back into the car immediately. So that's my first experience. I was like, oof, where am I? This is a cold city. Now I don't think it's that cold because I've seen worse, but then it was like a huge shock. And I remember the first week, I used to walk around with my gloves and I got people looking at me like, who's this guy? And then the second impression I had was when I went into the supermarket to buy drinking water. And at this moment, I didn't know that the cups are color coded. So like the pink is the one without gas, so the normal water, and then the blue and green have gas. So back home, all the caps are blue. So of course I buy the blue capped water. And I'm like, when I opened it, I'm like, wait, water shouldn't fizzle like this. And I remember I was crying, like, where am I? But you know, it got better. It got better because like I had good classmates that shared like previous materials with me because I started late. And the teachers were very willing, like they even offered like if I wanted some extra task or extra lessons just to catch up. I remember especially my biology teacher, Professor Dr. Hajnaka Abraham, she was like, she really helped with this manner. And so it didn't take a while before I could settle in. And of course, the academic process is rigorous on its own. So it's helpful when the people around you are not adding to the stress. So yeah, I can say that for me, of course, I had all the cultural shock and all of this stuff, but yeah, the first weeks were interesting, I'd say.
Yeah, because here in Hungary we have 4 seasons, so this is why there is very warm Mediterranean summer as we are close to the sea and close to Croatia. And on the other hand, the winters are usually cold, and usually we have some snow as well. So this is why you can enjoy all the 4 seasons with the different colors of leaves all around the forests at the Mechek Hills where we are located. So this is I think a new thing for those who coming from a totally different area. And of course the culture and traditions are also different, but I think it's could be get used to easily. And as you said, there are many people helping you. We will talk about this soon as well. So Ahmad, what were your first impressions when you get to Pécs?
So at the beginning, I arrived to the airport. The same thing happened to me. I mean, I'm born and raised in Dubai. I'm used to a 40, 50 degrees Celsius. And I think it was 20, 21 degrees Celsius. I reached late August to get my residence permit and everything. I was wearing a hoodie with a scarf, and I was really cold, and everyone was in their t-shirts, and I was like, what's happening around me? And then I got into the train station. Unfortunately, I didn't do any research on how to get to Pécs before, although it's available on the site. But I didn't finalize the mean of transportation I'm gonna use to get back to Pécs. I got lost in the train station, and I pretty much kind of lived my life in that day. It was a really tough day. At the end, I got to Pécs with the train. It was a long trip, but when I reached, the same thing happened with me. But that happened to Caleb. But the difference is that I got 2 liters of water, and I was really thirsty, and then I just to put it aside, and I'm like, I don't want to drink it because I'm not used to it. I got up, I woke up the next day, I had my breakfast, and then I discovered Page, and actually I fell in love with it. I discovered the center, and as Caleb said, the architecture is really like soothing. It's really chill. I like the center, and then I saw international people. I saw a lot of international students, and then there are these events that students do before we start university that I attended, and from there I started my friend group, and they're with me up until now.
Thank you very much. This was also my first experience when, before I got to Pécs, before I got to the university, that I participated a few weeks before the start in August at the freshman camp. And this freshman camp is a very new experience, but there are upper year students who are helping us, who are giving tips to us, who are introducing us the life of university with all the advantages and disadvantages as well. But we could make friends and we can make networking right before the start of the university. And I don't think those are very important because, as you mentioned, you get away from home, you start your individual life. Sometimes you get lost at the train station. Sometimes you have problems you have to solve by yourself. But this is when the family cannot support you the same way as before because they are in their home country or many 100 kilometers, even if you are Hungarian, away from you. but you have friends, you have very good friends, you have university classmates, and you are the new team who will work together, who will study together, and who will help each other to get prepared for the exams, to get prepared for the life. So I think this is a great advantage here, that Pécs is not only a university and not only giving you a training, but I think for all of us, Pécs gave a lot of good friends, a lot of well-qualified professors, and a lot of good colleagues as well, who helped us a lot during our studies and even after that. What do you think a bit about this?
Oh, sorry, man. Someone called, in these days of the Zoom meetings, it's a bit difficult. Can you repeat your question one more time?
Yeah, I just said that it's very important that when you get out from your home country, from your environment, what you got used to, and when you get to the university, you will make new friends, you will make new colleagues, and you will meet with new professors. And they are your kind of new family, and they are your new team, who together you will take step by step all the years of medical school, and they could help you a lot. And I think for me, it was personally very important, and it was a very great help that I just not got a nice educational site by the University of Pécs Medical School, but also I got a kind of second family who could help me, who were behind me, who supported me as well. What do you
Yes.
think?
Yes, absolutely. Like I already mentioned, my biology professor, at the beginning, was like really helpful with the materials and stuff, and offered like private help for me. Of course, it's like, for me, it was a big difference because like from where I'm from, it's like there's the professor and there's the student. So like a professor being friendly was like, suspicious, in the beginning. But then, and the good thing is like there are many layers to the teaching here. So of course you have the freshly graduated medical doctors that are also involved in teaching, like myself now and like you were when back in the days. And so there's a nice friendly relationship between the students and their teachers. So this helps because like I remember my one of even the main reasons why I decided to stay for the PhD was I remember my anatomy teacher at that time, Dr. Esther Banki. She was like really young and doing her own PhD, and I was like, wow, so this is possible. So like you can get like some inspiration from all of this kind of environment about both your academic and your clinical goals. And of course, like with the students also, there are like many societies that help bring integration within the student society, and it's improving. So like, for example, like when I came in 2013, maybe the different programs were a bit more homogeneous to themselves. But like over the years, it's like coming more and more together, and there are many activities that bring the people together. So I think that coming from a different environment, especially a different culture, of course, first you're with the people you know. So like I was with first mainly Nigerians because okay, you have to test the environment first, but really after a while you just open up and you just realize that there's so much you can get from different people. So yeah, that's one good thing about Pécs. Again, like I highlighted in the beginning, because it's a university town, everyone has this consciousness about them that okay, we're all here to make education, but also to make life friends, life partners, and future career experts that we may consult with in the future. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Ahmad, as a second year medical student, what is your impression about the student-teacher, student-professor relations? How are they, the professors, helping you, or how are they, or what is their relation with you? What do you think?
Well, when I arrived, I mean, I thought I was not really young because back in Dubai, in the universities, you can find 17-year-olds. When I came here, I started telling them I'm 17. Everyone was like looking at me, and I have a classmate who's 26. I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. I got special attention from the doctors and the professors, and they really cared about me. They showed care. They asked about me. They asked if I need any help during the COVID situation in the second semester. I was asked by most of my professors if I need anything. Uh, I honestly see that if you need help, you can find it here. You can build your own group. No one is shy to help. Everyone has an open hand, starting from the dean to the students. Uh, it just this is Page. I mean, I can't say anything other than that. This is Page.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I can tell my aspect because I'm teaching in the anatomy department, and I think it's not a secret that I was your teacher, Ahmad, last year in the anatomy department, and also I working in a pediatric clinic. So I'm also teaching fifth-year medical students for pediatrics. So I also have a lot of contact with international and also Hungarian program students as well. And this is also my impression that personally I think that we are colleagues with all the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6 years of students. So our relation is not like a professor-teacher relation, and then it's not like they cannot approach us, they cannot kind of touch us, but anytime they can ask us, anytime they can come to us if they have problems, they have questions. And I think all of my colleagues and also me try to help and do the best for our students, and not only because of the COVID-19 situation right now, but even in the regular time, we have a very good relation with our students. And I think this is very important that the medical students, even later after the graduation, will work in a team, in a medical doctor team. So this is the time during the 6th year of medical training when they can learn how to work in a team. And the team all the time has a leader. This leader is the teacher, but the team has many other very important members, and all those members are important for the success. And this is what I keep it in my mind all the time when I'm teaching, that we have to not give a knowledge about medicine to the students, but we have to give a way of thinking to them. And we also have to teach them how to work in a team, because even after the graduation, they won't work alone. They will be a member of a team. And I think if they learn how to do it properly during the medical school years, they will be more successful after the graduation. So I think this is the point, what all of us keep it in front of our eyes, and all of us try to do the best for it. And as now we are, yes, Ibi?
Yes, and one thing just to add to what you said is, like, I think what really helps with the teacher-professor relationship is that usually the first class or the first seminar, a good amount of the teachers usually just do a basic introduction and say some funny stuff about themselves, and then everyone gets a bit calmer that, okay, maybe this is not like glasses and white beard, a scary guy, but a human, you know. And like a lot of, and also within the seminars, like for example, I also now have a seminar group for the basic surgical techniques, and I'm usually just laughing at them. Like even when they make mistakes, I tell them of my own mistakes and what's deducted points from me. And then, you know, so this kind of environment really helps for also giving the motivation to the student to learn, because like you said, if you think of it as a team, and the team leader is the teacher, every member of the team wants to make sure that the other team members are happy and that the team leader is also happy with the progress. So I think this is one good point in most of the departments here as well. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And as you mentioned, motivation is very important, because I think everyone who is our viewer right now know that medical school is not an easy way of education and not an easy training. So it's not like I'm starting the medical school and then I will finish it very easily. You have to work a lot. You have to work very hard. And sometimes you have to say to some free time that, sorry, I have no time for that because I have to study now. I have a future plan and I have a future career. And just to be able to make it for 6 years continuously, you need a lot of motivation. And for the motivation, I think the teachers, the professors, and already the young postgraduate students who are doing research or who are participating in the teaching process as well, they could be very nice examples and samples for the actual students that, yeah, they are doing a great job and I would like to do something like them now. So this is motivating me to say sometimes no for the free time and say yes for the studying and to gain as much knowledge as possible, because the most I can study during the 6 years, the better medical doctor I become later, and the most people I can heal later. because most of us and most of you would like to become a doctor who is treating patients. And as you know, even nowadays, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, daily there are many new changes in the researches and many new results come out, how to treat this, how to treat that. And you have to be up to date. So it's a kind of all lifelong studying that you start by the medical school. But I think it's very interesting, very motivational. And as you are working in a team, you all the time have some good friends as well who are working together with you. And I think this is what can get you over at the hard periods, and you can easily, by these helps, you can easily reach the graduation time. Ahmad?
Gabo, I actually have to add to what you said about being a leader. We are even taught to how to be leaders with our demonstrator activity, where an excellent or a very good student would win a place to become a demonstrator student in any course that he would like to, and he would actually teach the lower year students. So let's say he passed the course last year and he's demonstrating it this year. This gives also motivation and this gives confidence to the demonstrator student, and this gives motivation to the students who are being taught that they want to become and be in his place, because it really is a nice feeling to teach people about facts and they trust you with it, you know?
Yeah, and I think teaching is a challenge because as we know, everyone is coming from a different background, from different traditions, from different countries. Everyone has a different way of thinking. So we have to find the best way for them to explain them something. And thank you, Ahmad. It's very good that you highlighted that in our university, it's very famous and more used, the so-called student demonstration circle. That means that if you are done with the course, then you can join back to that course as a student demonstrator, and you could be a helper beside the teacher. So you can see how the teacher works. You can be an assistant. You can also teach little topics, and kind of you can grow up to this task to become a teacher after the graduation. So this is, as Ibi already mentioned earlier as well, this is a kind of key, and this is also motivation for the students that they see that, yeah, this 4, 5, 6-year student is teaching me right now. So maybe in a few years when I get there, I could be a demonstrator to teach the youngers, because I really like to do that. I have many friends among them, and I like that subject, so I want to be a teacher of that. And after the graduation, after some demonstrator experience, you can also become a teacher by yourself. So this is not something throw you into the deep water, but step by step you can get used to this process. And I think this is a very great advantage, both of those who are participating in the demonstration and both for the student side, because they get a very hands-on explanation from the students who just made that subject a few years ago. And now I think after this teaching part, we can talk a little bit about the research. Because as I mentioned, research is very important for all the medical doctors. And Ibi is a very authentic person to talk about this right now, because he's doing a PhD. I also did a PhD after the graduation, so I can add some new information to that one as well. But let's hear Ibi about the research during the students here as an undergraduate research society member, and after it for a PhD.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that research in medicine cannot be overemphasized. Like, if you think of it, that the clinical medicine feeds off research, right? However, for some reason, if the clinical medicine, what we know or what we think we know is here, the research that backs it up is really low, you know? And so research medicine is like a really important field in the whole medical thing. And in the University of Pécs Medical School, from the undergraduate years, you're encouraged to join a research team, you know, just usually, like, for example, my first research offer was made at the end of an exam. The professor asked me, are you interested in research in this social science field? Sadly, I was not really interested in that topic, but he told me one thing that made sense and that made me check it out for a while. He said that the idea is not, even if you're not so interested in, for example, hypothermic regulation, just an example, but that the technique of research and how to interpret data is useful for your clinical life and for your research life, if you will combine both, or even if you would just be. So it's shown that clinicians that have a research background are able to interpret more the articles that are describing a disease or the right therapy, or are even more observant about slight changes, for example, between drugs of the same compound but different companies that make them. They can observe the different changes in the patient, because generally research makes you more conscious of what goes on, you know. So like, I'm a big research fan. Like, I think everyone should at least taste research at some point. And the University of Pécs makes this available for you, like in all the languages. You know, if you're interested in the research, you just need to write an email to the professor. And if they have a spot for you, they are most likely going to give you. And also, pre-COVID times, and hopefully it will come back after COVID, there used to be like an exhibition, you know, for the different researchers of the different departments. And actually the doctors and the professors from that department sit down in the central area of the university with the different tables and talk about their most interesting one. And the student goes round seeking for this. So there's a big, and for me, this translated into my starting with the clinical research part of my medical career. Because like I said, for example, from the first year, my anatomy teacher was a PhD student. So this was already, wow, okay, interesting. Because I didn't know at this moment that you need a PhD, or that a PhD in medicine is something heard of, you know. So, and then she told me a bit about her research, and I was like, huh, how did you come up with this idea? So it was just like a big mind blowing experience for me at that time. And then I just kept it in the back of my head. And then when I joined my undergrad research department, which is the Surgical Research and Techniques department, we started on a topic that we gradually built, and I am working on a part of the topic now as my PhD project. So these kind of opportunities exist, you know, like that after if you start from the undergraduate, or even if you don't start from the undergraduate, but after you finish, you want to be a PhD student, there are many ways to enter the program. There are scholarships and certain grants and certain agreements that can be reached. Because, for example, we have a big research center, the Center Kotai Research Center, named after a prominent Hungarian scientist that was with us for a bit. And here there are different labs. Like, for example, we have in the national COVID lab, research is led by the team here. And we have different techniques, and just that big lab, we also have different research centers in the departments, like the pharmacology, and for example, my own department, which is the surgical research department. So like, the opportunities are there for research, and it is encouraged, because most of your professors and most of the people around you are people who have a PhD also from research and have written papers. Yeah. So more or less, yeah. I could go on about research, but I have to control myself.
Thank you. I totally agree with all the words what you mentioned. I started my research right after my second year in the anatomy department. Right after I made my neuroanatomy final exam, I approached a professor, and she helped me a lot in the beginning. And my experience was the same what they told me that time. Gabor, you have to just make a little topic, which is just your own topic, and you are the best in that topic, because no one else dig so deep in that topic like you. And right after the first results, I worked with an animal model. Right after the first result, she just supported me a lot. Okay, go to the student conference, present your job. Maybe it's nothing huge, but this is a time for practice now. And I learned a lot from these conferences. Since then, many hundreds of conferences are participated nationally and internationally. And I think that gave me a lot of encourage for how to present. And later now, as I'm working in a clinical doctor, it gives me a lot of help when I need to explain something to the parents in the pediatric clinics. I use the same techniques what I used to present myself as a researcher. I have to explain things for those who are not pro in those topics. I have to tell them everything in an understandable way. So research is not only useful to find out new interventions or new processes or new procedures or new medications, but also to learn communicate properly, because as a medical doctor, you have to talk later with your patients. It's not a written way of communication normally. Okay, now because of COVID, it's a bit different, but normally you have to talk, and to learn how to talk in an effective way, how to explain effectively, how to be the best in this. I think research as a student could be a great help for you. And as you mentioned, we have many hundreds of research topics all around the university. Basically, all the department had a few or at least a dozen of research topics. And I think those students who would like to do something extracurricular out of just studying the regular subjects, they will find a choice, or they will find an option which they will like. If you don't like it, after a half year or a few months, you can change to another department. No one get worried. All of them support you a lot. And if you are very successful and if you find it very good, then you may become a PhD student afterward, which also give you some extra as the way you will understand how to read a paper, how to write a paper, a scientific one, and how to understand the statistical analysis. So I think this is a great help for a clinical doctor later on as well. And the university give maximum support for these, even for organizing conferences. We have every year an annual student research conference with more than 150 or 200 participants, when all the students has 10 minutes to present their work with a short PPT presentation. So that's very fashionable and very useful. And even later, there are many scholarships you can apply for if you have some results, if you have some participation in conferences. And I think after the research topic, we should talk a little bit about the development, because we know as medicine is changing, developing, I think the way of education should develop as well. Now, especially because of the COVID-19 pandemic, also we needed to improve a lot in our online presence, in our online way of teaching, and also infrastructurally. We are happy to announce that we have a brand new building, what we just opened nowadays for the students, with many big new lecture halls, seminar rooms. I will show some pictures about this soon. But what do you think, Ahmad, as a current student? How is the teaching improving, especially under this COVID-19 period? And what are the infrastructure? What do you think about that?
When COVID came, it was pretty concerning. We were close to the exam period, and we were like catching up into our materials. But then suddenly, we actually covered materials really fast and really efficiently. Departments worked really hard to provide us with the best, like, let's say, summarizations of specific topics. The transition was really smooth. The transition was it didn't affect the students. However, it was really helpful because we got really helpful resources. And about the infrastructure, the building is just for me. I really like the building. You can see it in front of you. It's really beautiful. I think that it gives more capacity for the university to work with. We can have let's say more programs that we can work with, more societies that could take place in the university. This new space can be used for conferences, etc. I really support the university thinking in building a new building, as it really is a really good element, especially with the new Potter Pillars program that the dean is working on. Yeah, I'm really looking forward for my future years here.
Thank you very much. And this is the picture about our new building. Right behind it, we have the older one. So this is the theoretic building where most of the theoretic subjects are taught to the students. We have many big lecture halls, the newest technology of screens, and a lot of extra spaces for students to study, because many times students like to study in the university. So we have a big library in the university, and even we have a very famous city library, about 20 minutes far from the university by bicycle or by 30 minutes walk from us. So there are many opportunities for the students to stay during the day, not only inside of the lectures or inside the seminar rooms, but also in between. There are many very light and comfortable corridors with seats and with tables where students can study as well. What do you think, Ibi, about the development? As you started the medical school approximately 8 years ago, since then, what changes can you see in the way of teaching and in infrastructural aspect?
Yes, so like for me, I think that as compared to Ahmed, I would have a nicer appreciation of it because I see the progression from when I came here in 2013. I remember one of the little issues I had was that, okay, in the lectures, they say a lot of information. In the seminars, they say a lot of information as well. However, if you're a slow writer or something like this, the information goes too quickly and you may not be able to keep up. You know, but over the years, I've seen that the departments have taken time to curate their syllabus and to curate like educational materials that back up the lectures and back up the seminars. So this is the first thing. And so I think that on this manner, the education is improving in this way. And also like, I must commend the leadership of the school in this regard, that when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, already I was a teacher by this time, and everyone was a bit like this. They remained calm, and I think we were one of the fastest to switch to the online education. We took like 1 week break, and we started online education, and this forced like a lot of jump in the innovation, like Wikipedia, which is our Wikipedia, where all the information usually should be uploaded, became more useful, and teachers found more innovative ways to show specific things while holding lectures. At least most of the departments implemented that. So for me, I think that it can only go up from here. That's really the message about the education. It can only, because I'm passionate about education. So I had a bit of queries in the beginning, not with the standard, but just with the availability of the materials. But I see like this changes gradually as over the years has been improving. So yeah.
Thank you very much. And we talked a lot about the study, the researches. Don't forget, I would like to just tell to all our viewers, ask us a question. Even if there is something you can hear about, we can talk about it. Just tell a topic to us, and we will talk about that one as well. But I think now we deeply talked about the education, the research as well. But we didn't talk much about the student life here in Pécs, about the events one you could participate, because of course you are not just coming here to study, but you are coming here for 6 years, so you have a life here. And life is not only about studying, but also about free time, about friends, about events. So what do you think, Ibi? What events, what student organized or other events which are organized for students have you participated? Can you offer for the students who will visit us and who will apply to us? And what were your experiences?
Yeah, so we have a plethora of activities actually. If you keep your eyes open, you would always find something to do, hopefully not to the detriment of your studies. And there are more social ones and more academic themed ones. So I will talk a bit more about the academic themed one, because officially I shouldn't know a lot about the social one since I'm a teacher now. No, I'm joking. For the academic part, we have different societies. So for example, we have the Pécs Surgical Society, which I am a member of, and we organize different sections for students to improve their surgical techniques, their basic surgical techniques, their basic suturing techniques. And so this is like the first one. And since I'm a member of this society, I have to say it first. And then we have the Pécs Emergency Society, where you can practice different basic life support and some advanced life support skills, right? And so this is the academy, and there are many others. Like we have different tournaments for football, for tennis, for I think some basketball to exist. We also have like the student body, the English-German student body. They organize events every now and then. And I guess one of the biggest highlights or maybe two highlights of the social events that are officially organized is first, when the students come, we welcome them with the Goya bag, which is just a simple ball, where they can play dress up at least and feel a bit grand that they have started in medical school. So I think it's a very nice event, because the dean or sometimes even the rector gives a welcome speech. And in that moment, you know, the students feel like, yes, I'm in a medical school. And also in the spring, we have the highlight of the year's event, which is usually the international evening. Of course, this year, thanks to COVID, we will not have it. But before, this was like different countries, different cultures came together to plan dance or presentation or drama or singing and food for the rest of the university society. So in this day, all the university society gathers, and proudly the medical school hosts this event. And we have, like you can see in the pictures, the lady dancing from a different culture. And it's really, you'll be surprised how much talent. Sometimes you wonder like, whoa, are you sure you should be a medical school or you should be a performance artist? But why not? They can do both. So like we have these events, and yeah, the international evening I highly recommend. But we also have opportunities like there's the Pécs Musical Society, where we have like open mics, so you can try out your karaoke skills if they exist or not. But usually people are very encouraging of all these singers, and we have some professionals. Some bands have formed out of this society, so it could be something. And yeah, I know one event that I was participating in is the freshman camp. This is like a brief period of introduction to the university in a different, usually it happened in a different camp area where you can actually socialize and meet friends that perhaps you can start your study with. So like, I mean, I'll let Ahmed and also Gabo, the ones they remember, because I'm sure we all had different ones, some hidden ones, some open ones that we participated in. These are the ones off the top of my head for now.
Thank you, B. What do you think, Ahmad? What were your experiences in the past 2 years about the free time events? And I think here the student never get bored, because when you are not studying, you have a lot of other organized events what you could participate in. But which one would you highlight, Ahmad?
Unfortunately, as Ibi said, thanks to COVID, I didn't get to actually experience a whole year of being a medical student. I just experienced half a year. I was getting ready to go to the international evening, but after like 3 4 days, before 3 4 days of it happening, it got cancelled, because that's when COVID started and we transitioned into online education. But I went to the freshman ball. There I got to know new people, upper year students from different cultures. We had the welcome ceremony where the dean was there. Uh, we got to know the university, and we got like there we knew that we were getting into something serious. The freshman camp, I attended it like at the last 2 3 days, just with my friends to see the activities. And to be honest, it's the last time you'll ever have fun without having to think about education or studying for the rest of your life. So it's a really nice experience to go to, because after that you always have priorities and responsibilities. Other than that, I'm a really active person. Sports, you can find like just go out to your balcony, you're gonna look and see five running in a group, one running. It's really active. We have basketball courts all around the city. We have running tracks actually that are for the university. And I think students, some like applicants are not aware of this. We actually have to take compulsory physical education courses as extracurriculars, and it's a must, and it's a prerequisite to graduate. I think you have to take three, and you have many varieties. You could start, let's say, from table tennis into Zumba. So yeah, pretty much a student can actually live his life here.
Yeah, thank you, Ahmad. And as you are also, and me also, are long distance runners, I think we could really promote the sport and the sport opportunities at our university, because it's not enough if you become a good doctor, but you have to show an example as a doctor. So you could not or should not be an overweighted person. And during the 6th year, if you're just sitting and studying, it's very easy to get some extra kilos. So we really encourage everyone to participate in the sport events, and among many different, more than 40 different sports you can try for free. There are 4 compulsory semesters when you can participate in these, but even the university organizes a lot of free sport events when you can join to tennis matches or other events as well. So we really offer a lot for your active free time as well, not only for the nights with music and with gathering events, but also for sport events. We are very conscious. And I can say that our university is a sporty university. You could see in the morning many students are coming by bike to the university, and this is a kind of healthy lifestyle, which is very good for a doctor to promote. That not only preaching something to the patients, but also showing example and doing the same as well. Ibi, have you participated in any sport events or any sport activities during your studies?
Yes. I used to play table tennis very amateurly, and I'm also a long distance runner. So I did some running in my time. I was initially training for the Budapest half marathon. Yes, but I can't remember why I didn't go for it anymore. So I'm hoping when things open again, I will do it again. So yes, I like the idea of running, and also there are a few gyms around the city that are affordable in terms of monthly tickets. So if you're like a bodybuilding type, I'm not really a bodybuilding person, but if you are, there is an opportunity for that also. So yes, I did, and also I played football a few times, but that's for fun. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And now I think just to evaluate, we try to introduce you many different aspects. Our university, the University of Pécs Medical School, we could share you with our personal experiences and also experiences from other students we got as a feedback. I really hope that you got interested to our medical or even dentistry, pharmaceutical or MSc, PhD programs. If you need any help later on, you can contact us, you can contact our colleagues. We will help you to prepare for the exam in that case, or we will help you to answer to any of your questions. So even just post your question under this live stream now, or write us an email later. I would like to say thank you to Ahmad and Ibi to join us today. We tried to show you a kind of authentic place, as Ahmad is from home office now as an online study. Ibi is from the lab joined, and I'm just joining to this live session from a seminar room where in a few minutes I will start anatomy practice with my English program students. So we really hope that you enjoyed the last 1 hour. I don't know, Ibi, is there any comment, any take-home message you would like to give to our viewers?
I think my take-home message is that, I think if you want to have medical education, we are a strong contender for you. And thank you for listening to us also. And maybe if you come, you would run into each of us sometime in the city, and you remember, I saw these guys on Facebook. And of course, you can say hi, and we would like that. So thank you very much also for listening, and thank you, Gabo, for inviting us and for this session.
Thank you for joining us. Ahmad, what is your take-home message for our viewers?
I hope we gave them what's more than enough to support them with their decision of their admission to the university. And as Caleb said, if you see us around, just say hi and we'll be more than happy to help. And I thank you so much, Dr. Gabor, for your time. And Caleb also, I enjoyed the discussion. And that's it. welcome to Pécs, I guess, if you got accepted hopefully.
Thank you, Ahmad. And the really last word I would like to tell you and I would like to share you is a picture, what I just brought here to our viewers, that we really hope that this could be your experience in 5-6 years from now. You could be maybe one of those students who are sitting at the graduation ceremony. We were very happy with EB when we had that time of our life. That was a milestone for us. And Ahmad is preparing for that in 4 years to sit among those students. I hope it was motivational for you. And as Caleb mentioned, this is what the University of Pécs Medical School could offer you, is a high quality degree, what is worldwide accepted. Anywhere you go around the world and you say that I graduated at the University of Pécs, they will say, oh, really? I have other colleagues who are from there. Just come, I show you the departments. And I think everyone is welcoming you all around the world in any fields of medicine. So hopefully you get interested. Hopefully we will see each other next year. Hopefully COVID-19 will be over and we could meet personally. And hopefully you will be one of those students who are sitting in a few years among those seats at our main aula as a graduating ceremony. Thank you for all of you to joining us. Have a nice day. Take care and see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.